So in today's video, we're going to be flying the motion controller with the Avata itself. We're going to do a full flight here with the different modes. We're going to go normal mode, we're going to go sports mode. We cannot do a manual mode. We would need the FPV controller for that. I also have that with me just in case, you know, to end it off with some manual flying here. But we're gonna go through everything and you will be able to see everything that I'm seeing inside the goggles as well as the original footage. So this is gonna be a test and a review of the motion controller here with the Avata. Since I've been flying the normal FPV controller for a while now, I wanted to give this another shot, to give you my opinion about this and also to show you the type of footage that you can shoot with this. So I'm gonna stand a little bit close to it now when taking off so you can actually hear how loud this thing is. When I'm taking off now, just listen to the loudness of this. Is actually pretty loud. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so now we're flying in normal mode. And it's actually pretty, you know, it's pretty slow. Yeah, that was what I was saying. And we have the sun. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Nice. So you cannot do any dives with a normal mode when flying this. So now we're in normal mode. If I'm going to try to do a dive now, that's going to be it. You see the camera is going down. If I'm just turning the camera down right like this, you can also see the prop guards. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. But when we fly manual mode, you won't be able to see those because you're gonna have the camera tilted upwards. But anyway, just trying to do a dive here, the Avata won't actually fly downwards. It's just gonna go that like hovering style. When it goes down, it's not gonna be tilting or anything like that. But if we go over to the sports mode here, which is that button, we can, if we try to do another dive now, well, you know, yeah. Okay, so this is the first time that I'm actually flying this properly with the motion controller now, and I can see this being a huge issue for people that wants to not only to dive, but to film downwards a little bit. Like you see, this is straightforward. And if I tilt it a little bit down, we can see the frame here, the prop guards. You can see those in the bottom section of the frame. So that's a little bit annoying. But nothing that we can't work with, right? Take a look at the seagull here, flying towards the sun. So I've been flying for like 150 meters now. Let's just go up here and see how it behaves, I guess. See what happens if we go a little bit behind those trees. Yeah, the signal is pretty decent. And well, yeah, I see a lot of gimbal issues when using the motion controller because of like tilting it like up and down like this. Sorry about that if you got a headache. But anyway, I see a lot of issues by doing, you know, by doing that with the motion controller, and it could be like ruin your first experience with this. And here we can see that the HD transmission signal is at 2 bars when I'm just hovering right here. We have the range coming up now, is going down. We have about 4 megabits per second, so I'm just gonna get it down. So, okay, 400 meters with the motion controller, penetration of those trees, well, not really impressed. But one of the problems is that I always dive on the back side of this as well, especially with the other FPV drone, and I have no issues with doing that. So a little bit disappointed with that test result. And we can see the speed now in sports mode is 13 meters a second, so it's not really that fast. But I guess when it comes to the signal, the directional signal is going to be pretty good. Now it's line of sight and we are at 1,000 meters right there. And we have 1 less bar on the, oh actually, I need to get home because the battery is 40%. And the problem is that I think the first landing is at about 20% battery. The reason why I'm not flying long distances is because of this. When I get to the point where I want to film, I probably have the time to film 1 or 2 times before I actually need to return to home. So I try to get as close to the the things I want to film as possible. Yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna land this, change the batteries, and we're gonna do a different flight here. We're gonna try to do some pretty cool maneuvers, like see what we can do with this motion controller here. I really want to fly manual mode though. I really want to fly manual mode. Oh, okay, so there's another update to the battery. I really like the goggles though, that I don't have the top strap, the head strap on top of my head here. So let's do the proper flight here. Maybe I'll put on some music instead so you don't have to hear me. Double press lock button. What's the lock button? Oh, okay. And start recording. Okay, so we're gonna go. Oh, it's noisy. Okay, so we're gonna go into sports mode. And we're gonna do some cruising around here. Just see if we can get some decent image. As ooh, that was close. That was close. Okay, let's go a little bit crazier. Let's go between some of these trees here. Whoop whoop. Yeah, perfect. So it's easy to, maneuver. Well, it's easy. It's easier than I actually remembered. But also the tiniest movement to your wrist is, you're gonna take the drone to one or the other side. So more control with the FPV controller for sure. But for someone just getting into FPV, for flying for the first time in a DJI drone, it's actually pretty. You're gonna enjoy it, even with the motion controller. But I think you will get tired of the motion controller pretty fast, because flying like this, it's not really fun in the length, especially not for me. I don't know, we all have different opinions, but with the manual mode you are able to dive, you're able to fly faster, you are able to have more fun. So the controller is definitely something that I would highly suggest that you look into. And you can take your PlayStation or Xbox controller and just download a simulator and practice in manual mode, even without having the drone or any of the controllers. It's really easy to get used to, and the more practice you have, the better it's going to be, and you're going to feel it's going to be nice. It is slow. I guess this is something that we fly close to the ground and through things. It feels so extremely slow compared to the DJI FPV drone. It does. And yeah, we have 60. Let's go up to those trees again and see if we can do something about that. Whoops. I guess the crashing is pretty, it's 2 times the same, 3 times. Well, let's just check it out and see if anything happened to the props. There is no severe damage to the drone at all. It handled that pretty good. It's just, it's a little bit dirty, but from the 3 different trees that I hit. But other than that, it seems to be okay. No issues, but the props are actually... Even though I actually had a lot of fun flying the motion controller, it's not something that I'm gonna use. Never. Now I have 2 that I can't sell, or no one wants to buy them, and they would just be laying around and collecting dust. So I would highly suggest that you get a simulator, a proper one, either liftoff or trip. They will be linked down in the description below, and there you can connect your PS5 controller, Xbox controller, or you can get a really cheap FPV controller that you can connect to your computer or to your Mac, and then you can start to practice manual mode. Now the motion controller, I'm gonna be completely honest, it's the perfect thing to start with. If you're not able to fly for a few hours every time you go out to fly, if you just have one battery and you're gonna go in and you're gonna fly for like 5 minutes and that's it, and you're not really into, you know, flying manual mode, then you might as well just keep on to the motion controller and try that. Like I said, I highly suggest that you get a simulator and at least try manual mode, because it's gonna be so much more fun. Now for the motion controller, I'm never gonna use that. I think it's something that DJI just overproduced, and I think they now just force it upon us by including it into any of the combos. They should rather like mass produce the FPV controller, because you can fly the FPV controller with normal, sports mode and manual mode as well. And now we kind of, you know, we're stuck with this because they don't really have the DJI FPV controller in stock, especially on their site, and a few local shops here in Norway as well doesn't have it, so it's going to be hard. And it feels like you almost have to buy the FPV combo to get the motion controller, and yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, I think that's gonna be everything for today. I really hope that you enjoyed the walkthrough of the motion controller. It sure has its place, and if you're starting out, just go for it. It's the best thing to start with, because you feel like you have more control when you're going into it for the first time. But once you get used to the normal controller, that will actually give you more control, because you have the 2 sticks. Even in normal and sports mode, you will have more control using those sticks over the motion of your arm. Yeah. Anyway, that's everything for today. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a like for the algorithm, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, fly safe, take care, and I will see you in the next video.